Hey, I'm Brian Van, sportbiketrackgear.com, and today we're going to break down the Woodcraft frame slider install on our 2018 STG BMW S1000RR project bike. Okay, Woodcraft frame slider install on our 2018 BMW S1000RR. As with all other Woodcraft parts, this comes with a great set of instructions that includes photos, okay? This is a pretty basic install. I think most riders are gonna be able to complete this project with very little effort. These frame sliders fit a wide range of model years for the BMW. It appears for the 15 and up, there is no fairing trimming needed, but the previous models may require some trimming. We have an 18, there's no need to trim. I've got our torque spec for the engine bolt here. It's a two-step process. Step one is to just seat the bolt because you have a tapered cone in there. Step two is 44 foot-pounds. We will be using a torque wrench today for this install. Removal. Got a T50 here for this main engine bolt. Make sure you keep all of your hardware. You never know what may happen down the road. Okay, keep the cones in there in place. Here are the frame slider pucks we'll be installing. There are two different length frame slider bases. The longer of the two is installed on the left side of the motorcycle. Shorter of the two, it's over here on the right. Clearly that is the longer one, so we'll push that underneath the bike. When installing, when you look at your frame slider puck here, you see this tapered hole and then a little through hole. You want to make sure that the through hole is straight up and down, okay? Remove that. This is an 8 internal hex. That is just seated. I'm going to back that off just a little bit. Rotate this. Be just a little bit straighter. You can see when you have the bolt in there, you really get a good sense for how straight it is or is not. Using the ratchet, not the torque wrench, we'll just go ahead and get it seated again. I already have the torque wrench set to 44 foot-pounds. Like so. Looks good, looks straight. Go ahead and slide the puck over. You can see here on the 8, that clearance is just right there. There's no reason to trim that at all. This is going to eventually be a track-only bike, so we have a set of armor bodies, race body work we're going to be installing on this. Down the road, we'll have to see if the mold for that is the same and doesn't require any modification. This is a 5mm internal hex. No need for any Loctite or anything here because you're going to see as I thread this in all the way, this fastener actually kind of threads itself into the nylon of that frame slider puck. So kind of its own Loctite, if you will. like so. With that tapered fastener too, you have a lot of mechanical grip down there, so it really ensures the fastener stays tight. Now we're ready to jump on the clutch side of the bike. All right, same process over here. This is even a little more wide open. You can clearly see here, much larger hole in the OEM fairing. Let's make sure you got that seated. Try to get it as straight up and down as you can, like we did on the other side. Just put that in there just temporarily. Get a sense for where that needs to be. There is the base. Let's get that frame slider puck mounting bolt in there. Should be able to push in on the fairing just a little bit. Run this down. And there you have it. Now let's get a good look at how far these don't stick out. These make it just the other side of the fairing, okay? It's gonna help on a driveway drop, a slow crash, like a street crash, to help keep your OE fairings off. But for racetrack crashes, these are low profile enough that it really helps to prevent the bike from catching an imperfection in the pavement and creating a big transfer of energy or a tumble. The guy who owns Woodcraft and develops all the parts, Eric Wood, he's a longtime racer, right? Hell of an engineer. And he's very careful when he designs these parts to make sure that they're really functional. You get some of the other frame sliders that stick out quite a bit further. While those can be effective in a driveway drop, you get a racetrack crash or even a fast street crash, those do oftentimes catch imperfections or a curb, send the bike tumbling, and create a whole bunch more damage than necessary. So if you want to kind of come around to Caleb and just give a good look at what it looks like from kind of the front and the side, these are only as long as they need to be. As I said earlier, this is a relatively simple install. You can see this didn't really take much. It didn't take many tools. It didn't take a whole lot of effort. It's a great way to protect your investment. This is an expensive motorcycle, and let's face it, oftentimes shit happens. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments section of this video. I answer all that stuff myself, and I'm here to help you get the same result from your project we did ours.